many spectators were injured during the match against Bristol Rovers. Today, Labour MP Walter Johnson asked the Home Secretary to take urgent action. He wants stiff prison sentences to be imposed on soccer hooligans and says the reputation of some fans is a national disgrace.
On the pitch, the match between Swindon and Bristol Rovers was the perfect advertisement for those who say football is still an entertainment. It produced exciting football and no less than 7 goals. But police moved in when fighting broke out in the enclosure that's supposed to be reserved for visiting fans only. The police brought in their Alsatian dogs as the terrorist battle continued. One victim was PC Mark Harris, who was kicked unconscious. His colleagues rushed him away and he went to hospital suffering from concussion and extensive bruising. The ugly scenes were particularly disappointing because the quality of the football was so exciting.
Nobody can accuse us of being the defensive team, but in saying that, if people want to come and watch football, then we try and play entertaining stuff, and at the end of the day, the crowd are the crowd. I would like to know what some of their parents were doing this afternoon.
And it makes you wonder, when the game is so exciting, that once again we see some rather disturbing incidents in the enclosures.
Yeah, well, that's disappointing. The least said, the better, I think. Everybody's against it, but how do you stop it?
Swindon manager John Trollope. Well, the football authorities have tried. Apart from sanctions against individual clubs, they've banned the worst-behaved supporters from travelling to away matches. Swindon had extra police on duty for the visit of Rovers, partly because of the riot in the visitors' enclosure when Bristol City visited the county ground in December. It's now a ritual at all grounds for police to frisk young fans. Football is still the biggest spectator sport in Britain, but recent surveys show that terrorist violence is frightening away hundreds of thousands of potential supporters. PC Harris was discharged from hospital today, but he'll be off duty for at least a week. The police say they're making extensive inquiries to find the people responsible. The MP demanding tougher penalties said today terrorist violence is now a national disgrace. He says the answer is stiff prison sentences.
Well, 29 people were arrested during the match, and most are due to appear in court tomorrow. One man from Thornbury, near Bristol, appeared in court today and was remanded in custody for a week. 29-year-old Graham Webber, a tyre fitter, was charged with assaulting a police dog handler, PC Arthur Newton, causing him actual bodily harm.
In a match these days. And it did a power of good to Swindon's chances of surviving in the 3rd Division. There they are, moving steadily clear of the relegation zone, now 8th from the bottom.
Heavy rain left the pitch saturated, but most of the surface water was cleared, and referee Mr. Colin Downey decided conditions were fit for play. With Rovers attacking their goal to the right, Swindon goalkeeper Jimmy Allen was soon in action. The wet conditions certainly didn't make things easy for goalkeepers or defenders. Howard Pritchard, the former Bristol City winger, now playing for Swindon, opened up the first real chance. Gary Williams forces the ball against the crossbar, and goalkeeper Phil Kite is relieved to get the ball under control. But it was Rovers who took the lead after Mickey Barrett broke down the right and Charlie Henry gave away a corner. A flying header by Rovers centre-half Tim Parkin from the corner gives Rovers the lead after just a half an hour's play. And, naturally, their fans are delighted. But within a minute, Parkin scored again, this time at the wrong end, giving Swindon their equaliser. So the local rivals were level at half-time. Pritchard began the move which put Swindon in front 9 minutes into the second half. Skipper Roy Carter and Williams helped with the patient build-up. Kenny Stroud was also involved. Finally, Carter's cross finds Paul Rideout, and the 17-year-old striker heads Swindon into the lead. Swindon's third goal came from a penalty. Kevin Badley, another former City player, is fouled by Brian Williams, and the referee decides it's a penalty. Carter scores from the spot to give Swindon a 2-goal lead. But a back pass by Rideout sticks in the mud, and Archie Stevens finds himself in front of an open goal. So Rovers, now only 1 goal down, are back in the game with a chance. But Rideout scored with another header to open up a 2-goal lead for the Wiltshire side. And there were more problems for Rovers to follow. Williams, a former Swindon player, was sent off after being booked earlier, and Swindon rubbed salt into the wounds when Henry moved upfield to score their 5th of the match. It was a result Swindon desperately needed to pull them away from the relegation zone.
Yes, we've gradually picked up over the last few games, and today, I thought it was a very good game of football. I thought Bristol Rovers done their part in a very good game.
Very disappointing result for Rovers.
Yes, it was, Roland, but some silly mistakes at the back, weren't there? Got to keep battling on, though, haven't we? We have ups and downs in football, and today was a down. But we've got to battle back on a performance against Oxford on Tuesday.
John Trollope, then Bobby Gould, as optimistic as ever.